Welcome to Beam Farm Gaming. And this is our review of
the StoryTale.
I'd like to thank the publisher for providing me a review copy of the game prior to its release. It was given years of developmental love by Maxim Nuriev. He also went on to self-publish.
Well, all right. For the price of $4.99.
That's so nice.
Once upon a time, a little princess who didn't want to be a queen slipped out of the palace in search of a mysterious amulet. She believed that the amulet would give her magical powers and help to become a real sorceress. Meanwhile, the immortal prince of the neighboring kingdom, having heard about the princess' disappearance, bravely sets off to find her, armed with cursed weapons and breaking through the horde of goblins.
Just over 5 years ago, Maxim Nuriev's daughter was sick with a high-grade fever. In an attempt to raise her spirits, he created a small game about a magical princess who confused her spells. The result of this theme evolved into the small-scoped indie pixel game we have today. StoryTale is an action tale platformer that's very mild with little to no violent elements. Although you're given powers like Smashing Hammer and supersized abilities, the enemy goblins are just knocked aside and remain alive and healthy. So this would be an awesome choice for smaller kids who are starting out and just getting used to action platformers. With no real death penalty, health bar, or player lives, StoryTale is a rather forgiving journey into a well-worn path of side-scrolling platformers aimed at kids, and maybe a couple 45-year-old dads chasing that gamerscore dragon.
Chapter 21. The princess now had revenge on her lips. Little no more, the balance tips. With the magical amulet, the princess could find hidden spell scrolls. But who could have left them? And why?
This game emulates many classic games with the inclusion of short levels, goblin spikes, traps, and maybe a few puzzles, if you really want to call them that. Nope, not in this game, buddy. Get out of here. In their adventures, the little princess and immortal prince will come across several NPCs scattered in amongst the goblins. Not that I could ever really tell them apart. Who's a NPC friend and who's a foe? With the help of some unusual spells and magic weapons, you will be able to float above the ground, walk through walls, and become giant, smashing everything in your path. Freeze enemies, craft platforms, breathe underwater, and your typical platforming skill sets. StoryTale touches on many of these video game tropes from over the years, but does it do any better? Well, let's talk about that, shall we? Although this game is presented as a family-friendly pixel game that allows unlimited tries to complete each area, it fails to deliver the same burning feeling of being so close, but not close enough, almost enough to draw a comparison to Super Meat Boy.
Chapter 22. The giant forest loomed dark and austere, giving the bravest cause for fear. The princess found that she forgot spells each time she passed through a portal. She wished she could forget unpleasant memories so easily, but then, as Grandpa had always said, bad memories make great stories.
The difficulty falls right through the floor, as some enemies will eventually get tired of you dying and fall asleep. You randomly will possess multiple powers like slow motion, time control, and supersized growth. Each of these power-ups have their disadvantages. Like, when you wield the giant hammer, you cannot jump, only relying on the blast of its hits to propel you into the air. NPCs can assist you once you've completed a few side quests for them, which usually end up being lame fetch quests, like go to the end of the level and bring me back my missing shoe so I can give you this achievement. The entire game can be completed in less than an hour without a guide. Just remember to start the game in streamer mode, which skips the first 20 tutorial levels and awards you with your first achievement. Each of the other 10 achievements will come with finding power-ups or completing NPC quests, which, although missable, you really have to not be paying attention to walk right by them. That's why I had to go back and do another half playthrough just to return some stupid rabbit thing.
Chapter 26. Enter the portal only when the foe's thrown in number 10. They say that discretion is the better of valor. Why not let others explore first sometimes? The menacing cave, the bottomless abyss, a suspicious portal. After you, my dear goblins.
StoryTale does not do anything I haven't seen before, and its graphics and playstyle failed to draw me in.
Chapter 27. It's clear why the prince can't drown, and magic protects the girl in her gown. Grandpa had always said that to find the best fish, you have to dive deeper than the lazy fishermen around you. But he'd always seemed to have backache on fishing trips.
The sound effects and background music were basically phoned in, but I do have to say I appreciate the voice acting, as most of these pixel art games are straight text. Overall, I struggled to understand what demographic StoryTale was aimed at. If truly it was kids 8 or younger, I would imagine there'd be more storyline or giving the princess more characteristics within the first couple levels to draw younger players, rather than slapping a quick label on the player character and expect children to understand why she just jumped into a glowing portal. If this small game concept was pushed onto consoles to drum up some quick sales, as I believe you'll obtain the Gamerscore Fiends cash by achievement and trophy hunters, then bravo!
Here, Chibo, 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 Chibo. Here, Chibo, Chibo, Chibo.
But find little more than a single speedrun for most modern console gamers. Beyond the achievement hunters, StoryTale boasts 70 levels that will soon grow tiresome, as some of the latter levels approach 10-minute completion times. The heart collectibles really don't serve a purpose to me, and you really can't hold on to your items like armor or weapons like you would expect from most modern action titles. This game isn't broken by any means, it just needs to sharpen its arrows. I'd like to see better power-ups, maybe some secret rooms, Easter eggs hidden around, and for that reasons, we're only gonna give them 3 out of 5 beans.
Chibo, Chibo, Chibo. Here, Chibo, Chibo, Chibo.